use our motivation for the project and then our general solution design. And then we will go in a little details of the design blocks we have. And then there will be a short demo of what we already got, like the prototype we have. And then there will be some discussion of the future work and what we need to improve. Yeah, so for the motivation, for this project is the visual aid devices for the visually impaired people. We are working closely with Professor Alexander Wong of University of Waterloo, who is actually leading some projects in the visual aid devices design. According to Professor Wong, the visual aid devices he is currently developing for the visually impaired is some kind of object detector, which is there will be some devices to detect the location of obstacles and other objects, and then convert that into text, voice message, and then play that to the visually impaired. For example, I have this device in front of me, and then this device is gonna generate some voice message, like the device talks, saying the door is 2 meters away, and then your car keys on the desk, and then this kind of thing. So what we're thinking about is from another perspective. For sure, this is a really good design. It will be very helpful for the visually impaired. But this device generates nothing but a simple text description of what we have. So just saying which thing is at what position. So what we're thinking is, for example, we're traveling to some place for sightseeing, just like we're by the ocean or we're in the mountain, we're by the lake, and then the scenery is so good. But for most people, that is fine to appreciate them because we have like we can see the things clearly. But for some visually impaired people, it is not that easy just because of some damage in the eyesight. So what we're thinking is a problem is the visually impaired people might not be able to perceive or enjoy the scenery in front of them that much. Just say with the current visual aid devices, it cannot describe the scenery for someone, saying there's a beautiful lake and the sky is clear, and then the ocean is beautiful, and then we have blue sky and the sunshine and beach. It doesn't do that kind of thing. So what we're thinking is probably we can build a powerful add-on feature to these devices to actually tell the visually impaired or help them to appreciate the scenery they see. So the objective of this project would be to increase the emotional pleasure of the visually impaired, and then help them to perceive the world. Next one, yeah. So the solution we're thinking is because the limitation of the conventional visual aid devices is that it simply talks things, which is kind of dry for most of the time. We think that rhythm, music, is a great carrier of emotions. So when we're listening to music, we can clearly feel what the composer want to express, saying this music is happy and it's sad, and then sometimes I feel angry, and then sometimes I feel determined. Music is like a very good carrier for all these emotions, and is easier for the listener to feel what the emotions inside the piece of music. So the basic idea we have is to convert what the device see into rhythm, and then convey the emotions or what people will feel like what's behind the scenery to the user. So we designed a mobile app that plays music, or to be more precise, to generate a playlist of music that fits the atmosphere. So here, just to clarify, our app is not composing music at real time. We have a huge music database. We will match a playlist that fits the atmosphere. So the way to use this, to use this mobile app to record a short video of the surrounding, saying I'm at a lake, and then I take a short video of the lake and then the mountain, the forest, and everything. There will be an algorithm that matches a playlist of music that fits the atmosphere of this video, say by the lake, and then it will play this playlist and then the user will feel okay. So I'm by a peaceful lake, And then because sometimes we match songs with lyrics, so probably we'll return some songs that are describing a lake. And then people will feel, okay, I'm at a peaceful lake and everything's so beautiful, and then it's quiet and peaceful. And yeah, so this is basically what we plan to do. With our basic solution, this is our general design of the product. So first we have a mobile app to record short videos, and then we will extract the sentiments from the video saying this video shows is peaceful, and then it will extract some other entities from the video saying it's a sunny day, there's sun and blue sky, or there's a lake, or there's sea. And then after extracting these keywords, we will have other matching algorithms. We'll have algorithms to process the music as well. So we will extract information of genre and rhythm and lyrics, and then we will label these music with similar keywords just for matching. And then we have a matching algorithm to match what the keywords we extract from the videos with the music, saying if we are taking a video of a lake or the sea, we will match with music, saying match some instrumental music, or some slow and peaceful music, or some songs whose lyrics are talking about sea or how quiet the lake is. And then we return a playlist of such kind of music, and then we'll play in the phone. So just one thing, just to mention. So for right now, we're building more of a proof of concept prototype. Everything is based on a mobile app. There can be a further discussion on how to integrate it to a more user-friendly platform for the visually impaired. And yeah, that's a thing we will talk about later in this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Taylor.
Thanks.
And here's our overall design block diagram. And as you can see here, our UI is basically using our mobile device. And from the application, you can use your phone to take a video for now. And then we'll extract some images from the short video. And then we will translate the image somehow to a sentence describe the environment you are in. And then we will use these sentences to match with our music and return a playlist.
All right.
And here's another block diagram showing where we already completed and where the part we are still ongoing. So basically for now, we already finished the UI part, and we can generate a playlist for now. And there's some short demo here. So here you can see there's the UI you are going to see from the app. You can click on the add button to take a photo or a video, and then there's the final playlist it will generate.
How long can your video be at this time?
Yeah.
You record a video.
Yes, here's a demo. So here's a main page. And then if you take a photo, here's Michael. And then it says this, a man sitting in front of a computer in a room here, and then it's loading the music.
That would go along with that.
Yeah.
A man, computer, like the kind of.
And there's the first song.
That's cool.
And you can click on next to see another song.
You back, he'll say hallelujah.
Okay, so here's the short demo. And now I'll pass it to Michael, please.
Oh yeah, excuse me. Just some comments. So I heard like someone ask how long the video usually is. So for our design is we plan to record a 10-second video, just because video is kind of a continuous form of information. Just to better extract more information from the video, we extract frames from it at a 1-second interval For example, we record a 10-second video. We will extract 10 frames from the video. The interval of 1 second is not very long that the scenery changes a lot, or not very short that I have repetitive information. So we extract 10 frames and then apply the same algorithm to each of these frames as images. And then we extract keywords from all of them and then get rid of the repetitive ones and then match the playlist of music with these keywords. For the demonstration purpose, we're already working on the frame extraction and image recognition algorithm. Well, for demonstration purpose, we just applied the algorithm to one image, just as Vera just showed. So it's like the algorithm is pretty precise. It is capable of recognizing the entity in the image, saying there's a person, and then there's a computer in front of them. So, and then we can just simply do the same to all these 10 frames. And then frame extraction is kind of a trivial work to do. So, yeah, some comments.
So when you make it the 10-second, let's just start with that. If
Yeah.
you're recording 10 seconds of the people sitting at this table that we're at, and you're standing at the other end, so you're capturing the people, the monitor, whatever, and you're holding that for 10 seconds, would the music then, if it's, because it's repeating the 10 frames, getting the same basic image, unless someone scratches their head or something, would it play the same music? So that 10 seconds.
Okay, yeah, so if I got the question right, it is during that 10 seconds, something is changing, something's moving. Is it still going to play the same playlist of music?
That's
So
right.
our algorithm works after the entire 10 images or the entire video passes through the algorithm.
Right.
So all those frames will generate the same set of.
Okay, that being said, you're standing at the end of the table, getting that shot, and you rotate now slowly to capture the corner to off the screen from you guys, but over to the left, around the room, back over here, sorry, at the computer. Would then, if you were moving beat, 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 beat for the 10 seconds, would it, with each of the frames, change that, or your goal, not right now, but down the road, would it literally, you listening to it, you know that it's, that info is changing, coming off of us, showing the other table, the stove, or whatever it clearly sees, and change to a playlist. So literally, could you have it in that 10 seconds, let's say, change track, the playlist become 10 different things, in theory?
Yeah, so in theory, if in the 10 frames there is a large variance, then in terms of the prediction, so there might also be some variance in the prediction. So this is in theory, but in practice, the goal of this project is to hold still the video for like 10 seconds at a scenery or at a static object. So there might not be so much variance in the practice, and then the algorithm will work really well in this case.
So if you had the lake that you were mentioning, some trees in that first couple of, well, the whole time, but a bird that it could see flew by, or maybe a bird's too small, but just something, a boat, let's say a boat on the lake came into the frame in the 3rd second and was almost out of the frame by the 9th second of the video, the music should change to account for that boat.
Yes. So in this case, because we are returning a playlist, so in a playlist, there might be a lot of songs. So I think some of the songs might correspond to the boat, and some of the songs will correspond to the other sceneries we've seen before.
Will they overlap?
Actually, in terms of songs, because we are matching for the lyrics, so sometimes it will overlap and sometimes it might not.
Excellent. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so so now I'm going to present the artificial intelligence part of this project. So it's called video semantic analysis, or it can be called image captioning. So in the slide here, so you can see on the left, there's an image. And after our artificial intelligence model, we can generate a caption or a description of this image. So in this picture is a group of people shopping at an outdoor market, or there are many vegetables at the fruit stand. Okay, so now I'm going to present using my screen. to show you some of the examples.
I stop the sharing for now.
Yeah. Okay, so can you see the image here?
Let me.
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
Okay, it's working now.
It's working now? Okay, great. Okay, so first I'm going to show you an image. So this is an image where there's a sea and some boats floating on the sea. And now I'm going to upload this image to my algorithm. And I will run our algorithm to see what caption we can get. Okay, so the generated caption is a group of boats that are sitting in the water. So this one is a pretty accurate prediction. So what if we change it to some people, or like sometimes, let's see if it's not a scenery, how it works. Okay, I'm probably gonna use my own picture and see. So this is my own profile image where I stand in front of a computer in a classroom. So let's see what caption it can generate. So here, the generated caption is, a man is using a laptop computer on a desk. So it can capture all the necessary components of this image. And also, let's see if we have a group of people, how it will work. So here is a picture when I have some hot pot with my friends, and there are like 10 people in total, including Taylor. And the generated caption is a group of people sitting around the table with food. So now let's try some, like real interesting case. So Vera,
Yep.
could you take a picture of all the people around the table?
Do you mind if I took a picture of us and then pass the picture to Okay. Let me just send image to Michael.
Yeah.
Michael is doing the chat. She's still uploading.
Yeah, okay. Take your time.
Oh yeah, sorry, I really realized that I thought you wanted something else.
Turning a bit slow, just a moment. Really chilly.
That's why I said give it to Anton because I didn't want him in the coat.
So is this still uploading?
Yeah, it's almost there.
All right, sure. Okay.
96%.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, got it. Yeah, it also takes some time to load on my side, so. Okay, let me see. Can I download it? Okay, that's great. So I'll call it today.jpg. Okay, let's see if we can get some interesting result. Wait, could you send me the, okay, one sec. Okay, so here's the image. Okay, so the generated caption is a group of people standing around the table. Although it's not standing, but actually it can capture a group of people and around the table. So I think this is a pretty successful prediction. And also it can because it's not like capturing one single person, it's like capturing a group of people and also the object table. So here is here's the demo of the real life case. So I think the model can generalize because the model have never seen this image, and also, but it can generalize well to this image it doesn't know. So I think this is a pretty successful indicator for us to move on.
Sounds like it's got all the elements.
Okay, so do you have any questions about the captioning part?
No, that's really cool. That's fast too, really. That's really kind of neat. And I guess because it's a standing, because we're higher up too. Yeah. Like we are in these elevated chairs. Yeah. So it can tell that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now let's get back to the demo.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll stop sharing for now.
Okay.
Can you guys see me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. So Taylor?
Yeah, so at this point for our future work, the prototype is still under development, and then we're trying to make it perfect. So right now we already have our image recognition and entity extraction algorithm working. So right now we are working on the matching and pairing of the music and the image. And then the research has been finished by Michael. He has gone through a ton of different research papers, and then he has been developing the algorithm, and then everything's going very well. And then Michael is just about to implement that algorithm into the mobile app, and then it will work just fine, as you just saw the image capturing algorithm. And right now, as you have observed, the algorithm takes probably a couple seconds to generate a caption and a prediction of the object in the image. That is considered kind of slow for a real world use case. So we plan to speed up the speed of our app, which means we plan to utilize the cloud computing platform such as AWS. If we put out all of our computer code into that platform, it will significantly boost the running speed. And also for machine learning and AI algorithm, what it needs is training. So the more image we show to it, and then the more it learns, and then the more precise it predicts stuff. So the other step would be to get more data to train the model more. It's like all the AI components in our app, just make it more reliable, more robust. And also there's another critical component, which is the user interface. Because we're all university students and we had barely any experience with visual aid device design. So for the user interface, we are just designing as an usual app. But as we know, for a visual aid device, there will be a special app just to help the visually impaired people. Since we have no experience on that, this is also why we asked for some help from CNIB to share some experience on the visual aid user interface design. So we want to let our app help the visually impaired people more. So there must be a user-friendly interface. So after the discussion today, we will integrate more visual aid design to our user interface, and then probably let some visually impaired users to try our app out to make sure it is usable and user-friendly. And we plan to spend a lot of time to make our user interface perfect. And yeah, that's another important part of our future work. Yeah, so yeah, thanks.
Because we know that like the Seeing AI app that is out there that Microsoft that are all involved with. There's a lot of capturing of whatever people use it for to read text or read or show stuff that they're doing almost to start a repository of images. So literally, eventually, I am assuming there'll be ways of it identifying the group at the table because that information will be available via that app. That's one thing I've heard that happens with some of them, that is being stored and tracked. But that's an app that a lot of the vision impaired community use as a basic in our toolbox. And maybe that's the kind of thing in conjunction too, because it uses all that AI learning.
Yeah, thanks. That's useful information. And in terms of the design, are there any questions like why we did this, and then if the overall design actually makes sense? So we're open to questions. So if you have anything confused, you can just ask us, and we're happy to answer your questions.
Our picture at the table
Mhm.
shows the group, the table. What was the other thing standing? We were told like was there anything else named in that? Food, I believe. Eating food. I think you're right. So is there something in the picture that down the road you would consider if dominant, so that the table being a lesser than the human beings, would the table be identified with its own music track lower than the people or the food?
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So in terms of a deep learning algorithm, so because when it's learning, there are thousands or like tens of thousands of neurons. So actually, we are not really sure what is learning inside of it. So in theory, I can't tell like whether the table or the people will put more weight. But in terms of the matching process, there might be some lyrics talking about, okay, we are eating around the table, something like this. So in this way, it will have a pairing. And also, in terms of the project, because our ultimate goal is to pairing some lyrics, so the relative weight between whether the table is more important or the people is more important seems not really, not
relevant. No,
Yeah.
You would look for a song would match, might discuss eating at the table, the foot, whatever. Like it would, song would come up or something that had that kind of lyrics, so that oh, okay. As opposed to individuality.
Yes, as opposed to individual matching. That's right. It's like a overall semantic similarity matching.
Yeah. More something for the whole scene.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Speaking of the music tracks matching the scenarios, I was wondering, like, who would decide, like, which song or which music piece would match, like, which scenario? Because, like, a song that sounds like, let's say a forest might be a different song for, like, someone else, right? Like, everyone might, like, perceive the music differently. So, like, who would decide, like, which song match, like, which scenario? And, like, can users customize that? Like, can you customize your own music?
Yes, that's what we are going to in the next steps. We are going to allow the users to rank the generated playlist to see if the user actually like this idea, and then we will memorize the preference, and then those data will be useful for later training.
One thing about the interface, I'll say, like, I mean, it's good to have, screen readers. I guess they work best with, I guess, less graphical on the interface or whatever, and like if stuff is labeled like buttons, for example.
And can users have the option to click on and off? Maybe like some days I would just want the captions without music, but some days like I want the music, or like some individuals might have sensory issues, like and pieces of songs might like overwhelm them, right? Because like it would be like, I think it would be a good idea if like users can customize their, like, can have the options to turn the music on and off like down the road.
I see. I see. Yes, I guess we can do that. It's not a. It's kind of true option. So your suggestion is that the user will decide maybe how long the playlist is going to be and when it's going to be on or off, right? Yeah, I think that's a good question. What do you think about Taylor? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear the question too clearly. Can you please repeat?
So here we got a suggestion that the user should be have the right to control the length, to decide the length of the playlist instead of a fixed length of 10 songs. The user can decide I want to have 3 or 5, and I can decide if I'm going to actually open the playlist or this time I just want to take a capture.
Okay, yeah, so that is a very good suggestion.
Yeah.
Right now, we're hard coding a number of 10 songs in the playlist, which might not be good. Yeah, so we will try to integrate a song number. Just say the user can decide I can do 10 or 5 or 3. That is not a hard task to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Within the options, but like turning on and off the music, that he has that feature. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Any other questions or suggestions? Okay, so is there anything on our side?
Yes. So now comes to our main question for CNIB. Is there any resource where we can learn how to design in visually impaired or like visual aid UI for the users? Because sometimes we know there are some specially designed cell phones for the visually impaired users. Because like for normal iPhones and other Android touch phones, it might not be that friendly to visually impaired users. So we also want to incorporate our app to those kind of special platforms. So is there any resource where we can learn such UI design? Or is there any like brand of phones or special platform you know of that we can search for?
When you just go to Apple, or because Apple itself, the phones themselves, have voiceover for those who need it, and they have other ways of making things larger. They're already accessible with that, and that's probably that's what I thought you guys were designing an app for Android or for iPhones or for to go with their platform. So if they would know their accessibility, they would also work with you that way about what they would allow for you to do your experimenting, because they have an accessibility department.
Because like I would personally connect Apple because I like both Android and Apple, like their phones are pretty accessible, but like I found iPhones might have better accessibility features. Okay. Like it might be a good idea to like connect with them. They would like learn like a lot of the accessibility features inside out.
And currently, more of the blind community use Apple currently.
Yes, currently.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, like if one frustrating things is with a lot of unaccessible apps, you have like things like unenable stuff like you just hear button and button. And it's like, what kind of button is that? Or you don't hear anything, and
Because it's unlabeled, it has a picture. Yeah. It's labeled with just a picture, and the voiceover at this time still can't do that, even though there is alt text and stuff where it can generate, like on Facebook, a very brief description of a picture. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. It just might say a man's head or a woman standing next to a blackboard.
Yeah. So yeah, then sometimes you try to double tap on the element, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to. Obviously, I'm not an expert in how to make it accessible. But yeah, maybe Apple accessibility would help.
Maybe like someone correct me if this is like kind of incorrect information. Like I feel like CNIB might be like a better place if you want to like gather users' opinions, like about like devices or apps. And but Apple, like if you want to get into the technical stuff, like how they might be like a better resource than the CNIB.
So you need someone like Ari over there to teach you how voiceover and that stuff works,
Yes,
so you can move forward to Apple and say we want to make something accessible for the blind using voiceover with the app that we have, and that's where you would go.
Okay.
That would be the best way. And user groups, you can either get CNIB or the Canadian Council of the Blind to get together with technology. There's a whole bunch of people that would love to play around like that for you, all across the country.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds very great. And other question, so for our existing UI, so Vera, can you please change the slides to the page of the UI? Two slides below, yeah. Yeah, this one. So for right now, this is our starting point. We have 3 big buttons. We can switch pages and then record a video. So like for as a starting point for this, is there anything to improve? I mean, like generally saying we can make the button bigger or change color. Because there's a prototype, we're going to demo it to our consultant as well. So any suggestion on this? Like we can, is there kind of a path that we can walk on just to improve the UI? I mean, from this stage.
Label them is what David says, of course. And once you take the picture and it does its generating, what happens to it? Do you save it? Or does it instantly stay saved? And then when you say you had 10 pictures, can you keep all of them, flip through your different ones that you have, the music plays, everything great? That would be the other thing that would make it nice and easy if it obviously either labeled them with the date or something like that, so you could go and edit it and label it to what you want so you could find them. So would that be in like your photos section or something? That would probably be good too, as you made your repository of videos and snapshots.
Yes. For now, we are going to simply save the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then I think that's a good suggestion. We are
And
going to
that
label
could
them.
go into photos or whatever with its own kind of label. Like it could go to there, and then you just know as you're scrolling through your photos, videos or photos, it just the app would play that as soon as you tapped on it. Double R for us. Double tapped on it, it would come up, and if you have it set the options, it'll play your music, and because it still has that description saved, it instantly has the playlist, or should have the playlist still saved in conjunction with that picture, and just activate it. That's how you design it, right, Terry Lynn? Yeah, of course. Home with all your stuff.
Designer.
Terry Lynn. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'll redesign it. How you gonna do that, Terry Lynn? Just use it.
Okay.
Designing it is really your app to design.
Right.
You can make it any color you want, anything. The only big thing for accessibility to help voiceover is to label.
Okay.
That's because you can put that anywhere. For blind people, they will be able to see anyway. Picture. So all they're relying on sound. Visual. As long as you have the buttons away from the screen, that's all you need. Otherwise, it's your app.
Yeah. Make your app, and
Make your
Apple
app.
Accessibility will support, or Google will support and help you figure out what you need to do. And you don't have to lose your graphics either, but they'll let you know how to write the language, I guess, to include, so that it will work with the voiceover and make it accessible. Because you really don't have what you're asking it to do. We can do ourselves right now, pulling our phones up. The only thing we couldn't do is tell it, okay, create the playlist, and that's just a simple button to tell the algorithm to do so. To get your, it's all very, very doable. It's possibly already accessible depending on the phone you put it on.
Right. It's like for partially sighted people, like they can use a certain feature on their it's already magnified. Like for users using voiceovers, you just gotta make sure it works with your app works with voiceover. Like everything's labeled, as David said. It's like It's just like if it's not labeled, like it doesn't make sense to the users.
And Apple will, as you go and put an app on any of them now, that accessibility is something that they may automatically say, well, if we're putting an app up, we have to do our best, you have to do your best to make sure this third-party app is accessible for our voiceover for our blind users. So it's something that, there are lots of things that aren't, that we really can't use, but a lot more is, and a lot of apps on anyone's phone are accessible for us. Apple, it's huge now. Their department is gigantic for it. Yeah, that oversees that.
Yeah, they're ahead of Google.
But they all have departments now that oversee it, and blind people, low vision, all disabilities working at them. So I think that's the best way.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we need to do some research on that and try to contact them. Yeah.
Well, and get somebody to show you how we use the phone. That's the starter. This will make a lot more sense. If Ari is teaching you guys, notice I'm volunteering him over there.
Yeah.
Arjun is our tech person. So like if you want to learn like how voiceover works, how the Zoom feature works, like you can go to him. It's actually under settings in under accessibility and settings. So you can play around with that, turn your voiceover on and off, and turn the Zoom feature, the magnifier on and off.
Yeah.
And see what happens to your phone.
Yeah.
If everything fell, you can always hey Siri, turn off voiceover. Siri will turn it off for you.
Yeah.
So feel free to play around.
The hard thing is remembering. When you touch things, we have to double tap it. So to make it activate, because we have to touch it for it to speak to tell us what it is, and then we tap it to activate.
And then you could, there's different ways of doing it. You could touch something in the middle of a screen or wherever on the screen, or you could also, flip with the fingers left and right, go through many, scroll as well.
Pages and so on. To move over pages, you can do finger moves and stuff. And Apple's always updating, and with every update comes changes. We learned this, like the scroll bar, right?
Yeah.
Love our scroll bar.
Yeah, I don't get that scroll. I don't know.
But you update
scroll bar. Well, no, I update that. Oh.
No, it's not bad. My work phone did it. I had no choice.
Yeah, no, I have the scroll bar, I just don't understand.
There's a whole bunch of the haptics too. You can make it stop vibrating in your hand all the time.
Yeah.
You can tell it I don't want it, or you can customize it. It's huge right now to customize everything. Apple's going through this big thing for us using these things that you can turn on and off this or have it. It's phenomenal stuff. So that's why even that kind of stuff, as you guys get playing with it, you will find other things that, wow, that would be helpful for your app.
The rotor.
No, that's going away.
That is going away.
Okay, Taylor. Any other questions or?
Yeah, I think that's all the questions I have.
Okay, Michael.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, so thank you again, Larry, for all the time you spent with us. It's really helpful to us.
That's
and
cool.
Thank you again for all the suggestions. We will work on the UI design and we'll try to connect with the Apple service for better designing, and maybe hopefully we will bring our product here and let you guys try it.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be really
Thank you very much. Thank you for organizing this, and thank you for everyone's time. And we really appreciate it, and all the helpful advice and suggestions we have. So we will follow these suggestions, and then keep working on our prototype, and then hopefully we will bring an actual mobile app that does the thing we wanted to do. Thank you very much. Thanks. I really appreciate the partnership between our group and CNIB. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Michael.
guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.